government says efforts are underway to ensure that Bester, who is on the run, and those who assisted him in staging his death face the full might of the law.
Indeed, government is embarrassed. It's an embarrassing situation that a convicted criminal with sentence to life and 75 years escapes from prison. That's why Cabinet has instructed law enforcement to make sure that he gets recaptured as soon as possible, but also to make sure that everybody who was involved in assisting or aiding him, or who was negligent in any form and manner, must face consequences, including those who have already been dismissed from the Correctional Service Centre. As government, we take seriously our responsibility to make sure that convicted criminals serve their term in jail, and those who are their victims feel justice that has been served. And in that regard, that's why Cabinet has directed the Department of Correctional Services to ensure that they fast-track the takeover of those correctional facilities. You recall where Thabo Bester, fugitive Thabo Bester, escaped. It's a correctional center operated by G4S, and we've instructed that the two centers that are operated by the private companies must be taken over as speedily as possible. Earlier this morning, the Department of Correctional Services announced that they've started mechanism to prepare for the takeover.
Turning to the recent deployment of troops on home soil, the minister says this had nothing to do with the EFF's national shutdown on the 20th of March.
The South African National Defence Force was deployed first in September 2022 at the request of ESCOM, but also to protect national key points. That deployment period, because you can't deploy them indefinitely, ended in sometime in March, and there was a request to extend because the work that they've been doing is not ended. And then that's why the extension to the 20th or 17th of April, the 17th of April, and the cost is 155 million, and that deployment, they continue to do work to protect the national key points and address the challenges that we have with economic infrastructure in the country. And that's the reason of the deployment. And we've clarified they were not deployed to deal with any protest, but because they were available at that point, they needed to be ready to protect or to support the police in their work.
In response to lawmakers in Lesotho having discussions on whether or not to reclaim parts of South Africa, Minister Ntshavheni says the territorial integrity of South Africa will never be threatened. Natasha Phiri, SABC News, Johannesburg.